Hey all, Toves here, back playing some more Planet Zoo. So it is a beautiful sunny day here in the zoo, and I'm just going to remind you so last time we worked on this great big kind of weird sinkhole habitat. Yeah, and it's worked out pretty well. We're up to kind of guest numbers are getting pretty crazy. I did put a restriction on the numbers in the last episode, but then I took it off again because it didn't really seem to make a lot of difference to my frame rate. It's actually not too bad. I think my frame rate's fairly alright. So in the episode, I was talking around kind of this middle fillet area. So I have done some work here, and I have created this new. Let's just scooch the camera up. This great big new kind of. It's not really a reptile house, but it's like a kind of mini beast's house. So it's just off the central plaza here, or this entrance plaza, and then you come down the stairs, and we've got lots of work to do still here. Obviously, there's all this to do, and there's this right hand side to do. I've just kind of marked out the symmetry of it. So I wanted this building to kind of show the kind of a viewpoint out and sort of complement the view in the distance. But obviously, that's going to be on the other side of the river. So, this took me a while actually, because obviously it's a bit of a weird shape. So I had to do some jiggery pokery with the walls and the roof and stuff. So these are actually, show what these are. These are window pieces. So I just duplicate that. Just window pieces, and then flipped around and doubled up. So I've done this did this kind of mosaic. I just kind of wanted a bit of patination in. The idea was always that it was going to be a modern building. Just try and get rid of that. I just want to get rid of that. There we go. Highlighted blue. It's annoying me. So yeah, I just thought a bit of a kind of contrast. It's obviously it's still an early stage in your visit when you see this area. So I wanted it to kind of be sort of quite impactful and stuff. So created this kind of separate little path, and this all works fairly well actually. I made sure that these are the joins in the path, so they don't, although they look like they just have, but they don't do quite such a bad job of walking through the barriers and things. So as you come down this little path, this is all kind of semi-covered walkway, and then into I'm not really sure. I probably should come up with a name for what this is, but it's a bit like a reptile house. So we've got snakes up here, and I did some work to give it some roof lights and a bit of detailing, some duct work and that sort of thing. And then this leads up into the side. I've had this path here a long time, this side path. So I thought I'd kind of link it into this building. So if we go down, and then this is the lower level. So again, just lots of small exhibits filled with stuff. I've done in quite a few of them. I've done added extra foliage and things, and there's some mossy rocks. I need to do that with the rest of them really, but kind of just built this box template, and then I have repeated that kind of all round, so that little bits of it's a lag spike there, little bits of extra details. I actually really like the way it turned out when I put all the rocks and things in. So I think I probably will do that again in a few other places. So I'm really happy with the way this came out, and the peeps seem to like it. Oh, that's so cool. I mean, that is quite a photograph when he's literally just Siamese twinned that woman. So yeah, and look at that, check those out. I've never actually seen them kind of just hanging out at the front there. Most of the time you struggle to actually spot the things in their habitats, and they are a bit, I have to say, they're a bit of a a bit of an admin problem because they breed all the time, so I'm having to constantly kind of juggle them things. Don't know where those guys are, centipedes and whatnot. And then I did this kind of, I think this is another random piece that, yeah, this is a door, but it's got this nice shiny wooden texture on the back of it, so I actually thought it worked quite nicely with this texture. And obviously I couldn't get paths everywhere in here, so that came out pretty well. So we just kind of played around with making a little sun, and basically because I had a random kind of texture glitching through here, so I put a roof on this. I'll bring a ceiling down on this one, and then I ended up kind of putting a wall on and stuff. Can't see those guys. What are you? You are the skinks or something, right? Can't remember what they are. Some sort of weird lizard. Can't remember. But they're in there somewhere. And every one of these has got like a little speaker and education thing, and it seems to be really popular with the peeps. So hopefully that's cranking up the education levels. Stuff is pretty right at the zoo at the moment. Marketing is I'm not really sure how you make marketing higher, but generally most things other than the normal, like they're always thirsty and always hungry, which is generally a bit of a pain in the backside. But just added some textures, obviously I did this kind of extra, this walkway around the top, which weirdly they do actually use, which kind of surprised me because it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes back to, you come across around that edge and go back round again. But I like the way the foliage turned out in here. Looks nice, and I think I'm happy with the ceiling. It took me a while. It was a bit of a head scratcher with all the different shapes and stuff, but and then that is a way of getting down to this lower layer that's not supposed to be there, but and then this is obviously the way back towards the gorillas, and this is all needs to be done and more done to this. And I considered putting some doors on it, but I actually kind of ended up doing this thing and like this kind of just random texture down here. I've shoved some food and whatever in there for them, and then we've dropped the wall now. So I think I had this in the last episode that I had this this bridge going across. Yeah, I did. I don't think I had decorated it and stuff. I've done some nice sort of decorations and whatever on that, and then I've put a wall in here, sealed all up. And then I haven't yet really decided what I'm doing, just some more experiments there. I haven't really decided yet what I'm doing down here. Oh, that's not supposed to be there either. I keep doing this. I'm a bit of a scattergun with this game. I kind of just, I guess it's wherever the creativity takes you that where I kind of end up working. So I'm going to do some more, and then I'll bring you back in a minute. I think I'm probably going to work over here somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure. So back in a bit and you'll see where I've progressed. Right then, so some new stuff to show you. So this is still all the same down here. But as you go up this path now, so we've got this start of this path going to the right here. I've done some work on just fleshing this out. I really love this piece actually. I'd never noticed this piece before. It's got an awesome kind of bow to the shapes of the timbers, so you get kind of these warp shapes. I've used those in a bunch of places. So this is the path going up back down to the gorilla, the ape enclosure, which has got very busy actually. It seems to have got really busy recently in the last few hours. But the new bits are, so the bit I showed you before, which was the back, kind of the back of that. So this is the whatever we're calling this place, but now there's this path goes to the left here. So if we go around here, so this is a little narrow path, and this I did some using that kind of bowing out effect. I thought I'd do a thing where it's kind of looks like it's braced, and the wood is kind of broken away, the trim is broken away. So we go up this path. And I use these kind of flattened these sort of raised beds. And we've got a path that goes to the left and the right, and this is all using the narrower path. So this is using the queue. The trick you can do with using the queues to create narrower paths, which I'll show you quickly in a second. It's been covered in Mike Sheets' videos, but I think he was the one that actually came up with the trick. But so there's this little weird kind of tunnel thing, and that comes back round. So now we're back outside the mall again. The reason why I did that is I wanted to create a method for people to get from one side over there through here without there being kind of anything that holds them up. So they do just walk through there and then come down these steps, and there's nothing for them to view here, because obviously sometimes you have to be careful that if you get a viewpoint for the guests, they'll kind of stand and just do annoying things where they block up a route. And obviously, because this is a very narrow staircase, it's a three staircase, whatever 3 tiles is in width, 3 meter. I don't think it is 3 meters. I don't like 3 meters. But whatever that 3 is obviously narrower than normal. So you don't want guests kind of lingering around on these kind of stairways. So I separated it off, and then if we go to the right here, you can see we've got this kind of got a wall, and this is the edge now of, can't see over the top. Well, we can actually just glitch through the wall here, but this is obviously the edge of the habitat. So again, at the edge of the sinkhole. So again, I raised up this rock wall because I don't want them standing, lingering, kind of looking over that edge. And then we're following the edge of this, this kind of weird boundary wall. So there's another habitat on the other side of this. Again, I did some stuff just to kind of make it interesting. I'll do a flyover in a second once I've kind of taken you around, but I thought it was actually I don't very often show you from this level. So incomplete stuff, but this brings us back round again. This is a little narrow 3 meter path, or 3 path, back round to the side of the mall. And then if we go up here, peeps aren't using this yet, but we have a little cool viewpoint over a Komodo dragon exhibition or habitat. So yeah, nice little, quite like the little viewpoint. Again, I had to be careful to make sure this was closed off because I didn't want peeps coming up here looking out that way. I wanted them looking out this way, but they haven't actually come up here yet, which is a bit of a shame. I'm hoping if I do some more stuff to bring them around here, they will. So we've got this kind of overhanging module, and then you should go into this. So peeps come down here. It's not particularly popular yet, which is actually okay. I'm kind of alright with the fact that it's not super popular, because it was the point of it really, of having these exhibits here. Let's come out of that camera now. Let's just scooch back over there. Point of that enclosure, or this habitat, is really just to redirect some of the traffic, because as anyone that knows played this game will realise, you often end up with these kind of little like congestion points. So I'm planning to have station over here, the train station, and what I was finding was I was getting a lot of people congested in the doorways of the mall, and then also kind of on this stairway here. It's actually quite busy still, but it's not too bad. It's not anywhere near as bad as it was before. And then again at this point, I want to keep these narrow, so I've given them other routes to get there. So there's now that pathway from the top, which I think looks pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with the way that came out. I'll probably reuse this kind of principle of these raised beds. And I think again with the narrower staircase, it just sometimes looks a bit more realistic. But as I said, you want to use the narrower staircase when you're just pathing people through somewhere rather than having them linger around. So yeah, just thought I'd give it something interesting, and followed this. It was a bit of work to get this plank wall, or this plank texture to follow the edge of the path there, but I think it turned out fairly well. But yeah, so what I'm seeing is that people come, and this was kind of the point of it. But what I'm seeing now is that people, when they want to go to the Komodo dragons, go through this path because this is actually closer to the path. Well, I mean, I guess that is work as well, but people are splitting the way they come through the mall. So I get people come through the mall now, go through that right tunnel, which was the point of it, which is kind of cool. And then I'm obviously going to get more people come through and go to this area, and then I'm probably going to have another habitat here, and then the station probably over there. Obviously some stuff to do back here still. This is all not really gone anywhere. But it has seemed to, and actually what's interesting, they never really used this path before. And now the peeps are definitely using this path. So again, that's just helping the congestion in that big mall building. So really I want them to go into that building when they want to get refreshments, and not just to use it as a means to get through to the other side. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. And I think, again, as I said, I'm a bit scattergun as to how I'm kind of approaching this. I tend to just be working on the places where I feel creativity kind of jumps out, make something jump out. And it was actually the pathway that, because I had this kind of narrow little bit here, I was like, how am I going to make that interesting? And obviously getting up the layers there is quite a challenge. And actually underneath this, I can't remember if I showed you this, but underneath this, say I'm finishing the episode, and then here I am. But there's this isn't complete back here, but through this wall is actually the well, that's kind of interesting. I didn't realise it was doing that, but the keeper hut. I don't think I've got. I can't go through the terrain there, but the keeper hut for this whole area is in there. I am finding that I quite often struggle to. It's probably one of the biggest challenges in this game is the whole negative effect of staff buildings. So finding places to put them where, it seems to be that you need to really consider the staff facilities really early on when you start to plan out an area. But yeah, let me know what you think of that, guys. I'm pretty happy with it so far, and I think those two bits. So this is what we've kind of finished in this episode, or got. Nothing ever really is particularly finished with me because I always go back and tweak it and fiddle with it. But yeah, pretty up with that. So we may well continue working on this direction, or you might see in the next episode that I've fixed some of these areas. Obviously, this has all got to move, and random things that are going on over there. And then we've got the boardwalk, and we've got to find a pathway through here somehow so people can continue to move in this direction. Because at the moment, this is never going to be. There's never going to be a path across this river. I don't think. There's never going to be a guest path across that river. It's just going to be a train. Anyway, babbling on. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Toves, and I shall catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.